Hello, I'm Kelsey Keller. I'm studying exercise science. Today we'll be demonstrating fundamentals of basketball and also incorporating feedback. So today we'll have multiple demonstrations by a test subject. Thank you very much.
Don't get it twisted. ET get tempted just like everybody else. But where I come from, everybody don't get this shot. Have you lost your mind? You know how hard I worked to get here? I put in too many hours. I sweat too much blood, too much tears. I worked hard to get here. Didn't nobody give me this. My daddy wasn't there for me.
Former collegiate basketball player Alexis Zapone, and we're going to talk a little bit about her experience with feedback, verbal and video feedback. How are you doing today?
Great.
All right, I appreciate you working with me and allow me to shoot video of you, for an example for my class. Now, just for you, do you feel like you receive verbal feedback better or video, and which do you feel helps you better?
I personally feel that video feedback helps me more, being able to actually watch myself and see exactly what I need to improve on.
So at what age did you start actually getting video feedback? I know you're playing basketball since you were a little kid. Mm-hmm. So when did that begin?
Not until my 8th grade year.
8th grade.
When I started playing select basketball.
Okay. So before that was all verbal. Do you feel that at a younger age, verbal was better for you, or would film have helped? Or maybe film was too advanced at the time?
I think verbal feedback at a very young age is more useful, but I feel like getting into like late elementary school years, video would have helped.
Okay. So something that we talk about in my class is knowledge of performance and knowledge of results. So knowledge of performance means that I'm going to give you this feedback while you're actually doing the activity. So that's where we're going to pay attention to your actual footwork to get to the end result that we're really wanting. And then there's knowledge of results, which means that, you're able to really dissect the game in your own head. You're looking at the plays and the result or the actions may be different to get to the result, but it's the same result that the coach may have wanted. Mm-hmm. I want you to make the basket, and however you get there, you just get there. Mm-hmm. So for feedback-wise, for me, in my experience, verbal feedback was always good during practice. One thing in football that we always have to key in on is footwork. So in basketball, how important it is to get those verbal cues? Is footwork really that important, or is it just about getting from one side of the court to the other?
No, there's definitely a lot of technique that goes into the game, and the verbal feedback is necessary. There's a ton of different footwork that you have to get down, and there's also with like hands that there's a lot of technique that goes into shooting.
Okay. We shot a few videos together, and once again, I appreciate that. I know it's hard for you to try to dumb down your skills, but if you look at the first video we shot, that's me. I gotta look at the ball when I dribble. I could go left hand, right hand, but I'm watching the ball the whole time. That skill, when we look at cognitive stage, associative stage, and then autonomous, as any athlete, we first have to learn the skill, and then we just improve it over time. How long would you say you went from having to watch yourself dribble to be able to dribble and complete a second task?
That definitely took a lot of time.
Yeah.
I would say probably a year or two, but I started basketball at a young age, so you're definitely not as coordinated. But
I'm still not coordinated.
So I would say probably a year or two before you really get your foundation down and can complete a second task.
Okay. Dribbling. So, I know you played in what's known in Spokane and I guess around the rest of the world as Hoop Fest a few years in a row. Hoop Fest, I'm not sure. I don't believe you guys have a coach. Is that correct?
At a younger age, you do. Not when you get older.
Okay. So when you get older, you guys are required to basically practice together, coach yourselves, and I would guess you guys probably played together previously, so you have some idea of how you guys flow together.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this level, I would say that you guys are probably in an autonomous stage. You're able to coach yourself. You're able to see your own errors and correct them. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So what helped you get to that point to be able to correct your own mistakes? was there any specific thing that coach taught you, or did it just develop over time?
I definitely developed over time, over the many years of practicing, being told the same thing. Once you say it's your shot that's off, you can correct it yourself just because you've been told over and over, and you can start feeling it. Just the muscle memory.
So you started 8th grade watching videos. Did the videos really help you, not just the coach telling you that your shot is off, but it give you the reason, okay, this is why my shot is off, and let you see exactly what you're doing wrong. So that probably enhanced your ability to make corrections?
Yeah, definitely did.
Okay. Very nice. So we also made another video, and we made a few videos after the first one. And what we really demonstrated was, the progressions that athletes go through. And for many athletes, depending on what skill they're in, they could be in the cognitive, associative, or autonomous phase. We're constantly progressing through those stages through life and through our sports career. So for you at this present day, because I know that what we shot in the video, I know you're far beyond those. That's my level that we are in the video. I had her demonstrate what I would do. What skills would you say right now that you're in the cognitive phase, which would be the beginner phase, if you have to get back on?
Well, honestly, I think I've mastered pretty much every skill.
Oh, there we go. Humble for you. And you know what? I won't disagree, because when we play basketball, I make you look like Michael Jordan. So totally understandable. Maybe you should be giving me the verbal feedback. Actually, let me rephrase that. You've given me verbal feedback. Whenever you tell me kick in the elbow, angle my left hand, flick the wrist. No, it's a cookie jar. So, you're constantly giving me verbal feedback when we're just out, shooting around. I typically hit 1 out of 20, but, it's better than what I did the first time. So, for me, being an athlete, crossing over sports, though I have the skills for one sport, and there's typically crossover from one sport to another, that verbal feedback for me is no different than it would be for a little kid right now.
Yeah.
So
some of you, man, you keep crying. You complain about your job. You complain about where you are financially. You complain about your relationships. You complain. Shut up! Stop complaining and do me a favor. Make a decision. If you want to make a difference, all you got to do is one thing. This is how you get started. You want something different? Listen to me. All you got to do is make a decision. That's it. Woo! And for those of you who've been making the wrong decision, all you got to do is make the right decision. But if you want to make a difference, make a decision. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Woo! Some of you ain't got control. You talking about your job. You got control. Listen to me. Some of you talk about your economics like you